my Asian friends living in Asia or else any other part of the world. I am your Asian friend living, residing, and thriving in South Asia. Asians. If you thought that we are similar or related to each other on the basis of our values and principles only, then let me break your bubble and let you know, if at all by any means you are still not aware, that we are similar or related to each other on the basis of our culture's toxic traits and behaviors as well. And one such trait which we are going to discuss and focus on today is the classic Asian people-pleasing behavior. East, west, north, south. Doesn't matter. Our Asian behinds are busy people pleasing across the continent. God forbid if we ever come across someone who is not from our culture or maybe from the other continent who showed maybe menial or little kindness in terms of humanity. We literally hold on to that bare minimum behavior, and in response we end up people pleasing so much so that we sometimes are afraid to lose those people and extremely worried about what exactly they think about us, and we end up doing certain things and behaviors which we actually hate to do. So as Asian, I have one question right now: why are we engaging in this behavior even in this 21st century? Why? I think that I know the root cause of this problem. I'll elaborate, but in the comment section, you guys can let me know if at all you relate, agree, disagree, or else you have some more points to add on to it. Okay? Because I ain't no pro at content creation. So once in a while, I might look into my notes, which I jotted down so that I can be fair about the topic. My points are fact checkable and I'm not saying something which I'm not supposed to. Simply because I too am Asian and I do people pleasing as well. And I have one image to uphold just like you guys do. So please bear with me and let's start. Be it Sanatan Darshan shaping the South Asian culture, be it Confucianism shaping the East Asian culture, or else the Egyptian, Babylonian, Jewish, Christian, or Islamic philosophies shaping the Western Asia. Yes, you heard it right. So many of the Middle Eastern countries are actually also the Western Asia. That being said, let me break it to you this point that regardless of these philosophies, you can say creation and existence, they have one thing in common, which is within these philosophies, you are taught to prioritize God, society, and others first. Many a times, these philosophies promote the collective societal existence to maintain the harmony over the individual's existence. So much so that your individual opinions might be disregarded as the principles within these philosophies. But don't take me wrong, within our continent, there are certain philosophies which do end up valuing individualism. But when it comes to comparison to the philosophies which are actually generated or created within other continents, then of course we are more on the collective existence part. Within these philosophies, our parents or else the generations before them grew up, and which majorly affected their thought process, needs, wants, and even choices. When older generations were growing up, the norm of their society was to react, act, behave, and exist in certain way, which is dictated by the society, not by their own individual desires. Okay. As a result of this, so many people from our parents' generation were legit trained into upholding an image which is liked and appreciated by the society in large. But them being equally human and lost like us, they developed certain coping mechanisms to uphold this likable image. Because no sane person remains sane when they are living lives on someone else's dictation and not on their own terms. And here comes the people-pleasing behavior in the picture. What are the traits? Oh, traits. Okay, let me know if you saw these behaviors or traits in your parents or else the generation older to them, which is respecting people based on age even when they are visibly toxic, attending events, parties which they know they hate, and forcing you to come with them, as saying, if you won't go to these events, no one will come to yours. Not being honest to people's face and judging those to the fullest who are. Avoiding deep discussions with anyone and everyone, and whenever you have the deep discussion, or you try to have a deeper discussion with them acting distracted by trying to do any sort of work in the same moment, normalizing and accepting even the most toxic behaviors and calling it a destiny and getting hella mad if at all you go and tell them you taking the arts, or else getting married late in life is also a part of destiny. Caring too much about most toxic relatives and friends' opinion instead of cutting them off and not giving a shit about your opinion, who actually cares about them. Caring, bending over backwards to keep outsiders, foreigners, especially Westerners, comfortable and happy, even at their own expense. Saying yes to doing things they don't personally like just because outsiders said so, not caring about families' need meanwhile. Never ever having any set of boundaries with anyone and not allowing you guys having boundaries with them. Showing love, remorse, happiness, sorrow, care, any emotion with you by feeding you the unhealthy amount of food or fruits. There are many more reasons which you might be having in your mind, which can be categorizing in this people pleasing behavior in our parents' generation. But these are some of the behaviors which can be found commonly across our Asian parents or else the Asian generations before them. These behaviors are nothing but the Asian way of people pleasing. These very same people pleasing parents or else the older generation are existing, or current generation or else the younger generations were raised. What do you think would have been the outcome within our generations? This people pleasing upbringing created two types of individuals in the society. Number one, hyper disagreeable disguised as independent individuals, and the second ones are of course the people pleaser, Asian people pleasers. Hyper disagreeability disguised as independence is actually a trauma response to this self deprecating and suffocating people pleasing upbringing. But in reality, it sounds cool, but honestly, it is very, very toxic behavior. But for today, we are not going to focus on that trait within the Asians. We will focus on the Asian people pleasing behavior, which is quite toxic in its own. Asian people pleasing in the modern terms. Let me read out the points and let me know if you can relate to this very same behavior, people pleasing behavior as Asians within your generation or else maybe in you. Okay. Hanging out with friends you don't want to or feel comfortable around, doing things you don't like for example, partying, drinking, casual dating, and all, just to look cool in front of your friends. Opting for the careers which you know in your heart you won't be good at, you won't love, you won't excel in, but still taking because that's what pleases the older society around you and especially your parents. Okay. Being overly nice in front of the people, even you are feeling irritable, angry, exhausted. Not being able to say no in public when you absolutely want to. Feeling pressure to get married by certain age, at certain position, designation, with certain kind of partner, even though you think otherwise. Feeling pressure to find a partner in love because you want to prove a point to your friends that you are not a loser for not being able to find love for yourself, even though you know the partner you are sticking on to right now is actually a bad match for you in the long run. Trying to care about your friends and family's need, even though internally you want to put yourself first. I am damn sure out of all these Asian people pleasing behavior, you could have related to at least one of them, at least. Because as Asians, we have been raised by the people pleasing older generation. So, of course, we became the modern versions of the Asian people pleasers. So, we projecting these things within our society is a normal thing to happen. People pleasers do this because somewhere or the other, somehow, they have internalized this fact that for their lives to be deemed as great or successful by others, it needs to be picture perfect in public instead of it being maybe a little tainted but happy. How this thought got solidified? This happened because these people pleasers watched their Asian parents doing the same behavior growing up. Usually in the Asian cultures, the Asian parents give the blessings or approvals to only those kids who are more on the society or else people serving side over the individual or self serving side. Meaning, they approve of you when you work hard according to their parameter, when you choose the careers which they like and they approve, whenever you behave as per the norms, rules, and behavior approved by them, especially in front of their peers, when you end up marrying someone they chose and have no boundaries to their toxic behaviors. Asians who are people pleasing like this are the most favorite of these older generations, but in reality, they are horrible to live with or deal with. You know why? Simply because if you will be around these people pleasers or else notice them, how much of their energy actually goes into what, then you will get to know that most of their energy within a day or else their entire life goes into upholding or maintaining this nice image they project in the public eye. That's what their major concern is. They are super obsessed with impressing someone who is new in their life or else haven't bought this nice image yet or else can leave them easily over anyone who is super close to them. They do this because they are internally, you can say, insecure or else have some level of fear of abandonment by the people, and that is why their entire priority is around those people who haven't still bought into this niceness. And why they do this thing, and while they are doing this thing, they are completely ignoring those people or maybe disregarding the feelings and wants of those people who are actually close to them. Why they do this? Because internally they know that you already know their real personality. So right now they are not afraid to get exposed in front of you like what exactly they are, or else they are not afraid to lose you or have fear of abandonment around you. That's why most of the times they are not prioritizing you who actually cares about them, but are busy prioritizing the needs, wants, and desires of someone who is actually still have not bought their image of niceness or else can leave them anytime, anywhere, whenever they want. This existence of these people pleasing behavior is especially heartbreaking and exhausting to be around, but sadly the Asian cultures and its norm actually enhances these behaviors more. If at all you were to say that any of the Asian people pleasers were to get the approval by the society, especially the Western society, they will go up and literally dishonor the Asian cultures and misbehave within our own cultures. For what? Just for the approvals. This is to the extent they can go. They can dishonor our collective Asian pride and Asian cultures to get their approval so that they can uphold this image, and they are actually people pleasing. People pleasing sometimes those people also who are not very fond of our Asian culture. So this kind of behavior, which is usually seen within so many Asian countries, is actually very exhausting, detrimental, and heartbreaking for our collective Asian pride. So as the younger generation, we need to put a stop to this. And moving forward, we have to cultivate more healthy behaviors while keeping our best parts of our traditions. What do you think can be the solution for this Asian problem of people pleasing? I think I know some points which might be helpful. And if you have something more to add, please do let me know. Let's start. Start acknowledging that you are actually people pleasing and stop justifying it by rebranding it and giving it some other name. So stop justifying the fact that you are literally labeling people pleasing as being nice person or else nice person behavior, because you being too much agreeable is actually a sign of weakness. Niceness is not about you bending backwards over something or else for those people whom you do not agree with, do not like, or maybe on the principle or values you do not share the same values. That's not being nice. Being nice means you do correct things, you do nice things for people regardless of their gender, designation, culture, behavior, just on the basis of humanity, and also know when to say no when it is both beneficial for you and them. So that's what being nice called. You being too agreeable is actually the sign of weakness, not the niceness. Please start acknowledging this thing. Accept the fact that our cultures, yes, are more into the belief that you should always pay back the favor, you should always share, you should be extra kind to someone who has shown little kindness to you. But we need to accept the fact many a times the people of other continent or maybe the other culture do not see the values we see. Okay, and they usually exploit our niceness, aka our people pleasing, for their benefit and to our detriment. So start realizing this fact. Acknowledge, first of all, start acknowledging that you do demonize individualism and you do angelize the collective existence, whereas in reality it has got nothing to do with demons or angels. Individualism is not as bad as you think, and collective existence is not as good as you think. They are equally important and beneficial when they are practiced in balance, meaning for certain activities you need to be collective, and for certain existences you need to be individual. So you need to understand this fact, regardless of your age or socio-economic existence within the continent of Asia. As a country, you need to start taking pride in what, as a country, especially the Asian country, you offered in past, offering right now, and might be able to offer in future. Start taking pride in your current culture, especially as the Asian country. That is very, very important notion which we as Asian nations have to start following up. Slowly start saying no to the people and events you know are not good for your soul, not good for your growth, not good for your behavior, and start replacing those people and events with those people whom you should actually prioritize. Why you should do this? Because doing this exchange work, you will not feel as guilty to say no to the original people, because you can explain it to your brain that yes, because of your much more higher priority, you are saying no to them, and not because you do not want to people please them. So that's the solution I think is best for those people who feel guilty for saying no. And usually the people pleasers suffer the most with is how to say no without feeling guilty. So that's what my solution to it. Slowly start practicing being okay with fear of abandonment, you being left out by the public, or else you not being chosen by certain people, group, individuals, or societies. You have to practice to be okay with it. Otherwise, you will keep on saying no, yes to those people whom you really don't want to be around. They bring down your energy, they add nothing to your life. But because you are people pleasing, especially as Asian, you will end up being with them and feeling horrible and miserable, but still putting a smile on your face, just like all Asians, including me, do. Last but not the least, start being unified and integrated amongst Asians. If you are Asian listening to me, I am an Asian, maybe different kind of Asian. And if as an Asian, you are a different kind of Asian. But if you are somehow listening to me, let's start being united and integrated across our continent. So much so that we take pride, arrogantly become prideful about our Asian cultures. Not just about our country's culture, but our Asian cultures and its contribution to this entire earth. Okay, let's start being together like this. Feel free to let me know what do you think about this topic and what exactly you would like to add. And while doing all these things, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to listen to more such topics or videos over the Asian culture and its existence, and more such Asian integration content. If you want to know and you are interested in, please do subscribe to this channel. Okay, bye.